Since Election Day in 2020, Trump, his legal team, and his supporters have consistently asserted that the 2020 election was rigged and stolen. Recent polls indicate that one-third of Americans believe there is solid evidence of widespread voter fraud in 2020. In this video, we will closely review these claims. Stay tuned. In 2020, Biden secured a decisive victory over Trump, winning the Electoral College with 306 votes to Trump's 232 and claiming the popular vote by a margin exceeding 7 million ballots. The Electoral College, being the ultimate determinant of the presidency, emphasized the significance of battleground states in deciding the outcome. Numerous states, pivotal in the election, conducted recounts and extensive reviews, all of which consistently affirmed Biden's victory. In Arizona, a comprehensive 6-month review of ballots in the state's largest county, Maricopa, commissioned by Republican state legislators, not only confirmed Biden's victory, but also concluded that he should have secured an additional 306 votes beyond the officially certified statewide margin of 10,457. In Georgia, where Trump faces indictments for attempting to overturn the 2020 result, state officials, led by both a Republican governor and Secretary of State, recertified Biden's win following 3 statewide counts. The final official recount narrowed Biden's victory in the state from almost 13,000 votes to just under 12,000 votes. In Michigan, although less competitive than other battleground states, where Biden secured a victory over Trump by almost 155,000 votes, a committee led by Republican state senators conducted a thorough months-long investigation. They concluded that there was no widespread or systematic fraud in the state during the 2020 election. In Nevada, the then Secretary of State, Republican Barbara Cegavske, and her office reviewed 10,000s of allegations of possible voter fraud identified by the Nevada Republican Party. Their investigation found that nearly all of these claims were based on incomplete information and a lack of understanding of the state's voting and registration procedures. For example, Cegavske's inquiry revealed that out of 1,506 alleged instances of ballots being cast in the name of deceased individuals, only 10 warranted further investigation by law enforcement. Similarly, among 1,778 allegations of double voting, only 10 were deemed deserving of further investigation. It's worth noting that Biden won Nevada by 33,596 votes. In Pennsylvania, the conclusive certified results showed Biden with an 80,555 vote margin over Trump. Attempts to overturn Pennsylvania's election outcomes were unsuccessful in both state and federal courts. Importantly, no prosecutor, judge, or election official in Pennsylvania has raised concerns about widespread fraud. In Wisconsin, a recount marginally enhanced Biden's victory over Trump by 87 votes, extending Biden's statewide lead to 20,682. Subsequently, a nonpartisan audit concluding a year after the election did not reveal any evidence of widespread voter fraud in the state. In response, the Republican co-chair of the audit committee affirmed that the election was largely safe and secure. Further examination was initiated by the state's assembly speaker, also Republican, who ordered a separate review. A state judge overseeing this review declared that it uncovered absolutely no evidence of election fraud. Overall, based on the investigations, there were fewer than 475 instances of confirmed voter fraud across 6 battleground states, a number significantly insufficient to influence the outcome of the presidential election. The examination of ballots and records from over 300 local election offices revealed that nearly every instance of voter fraud was committed by individuals acting alone, rather than as part of a massive, coordinated conspiracy to manipulate the election. These cases encompassed individuals from both registered Democrats and Republicans, with wrongdoers being nearly always identified and caught before their fraudulent ballots were added to the count. Some of the cases seemed to involve intentional attempts to commit fraud, while others were linked to either administrative errors or voter confusion. Moreover, there is no evidence supporting Trump's claims that the states tabulated more votes than there are registered voters. Biden secured victories in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, with a collective lead of 311,257 votes out of 25.5 million ballots cast. The disputed ballots, which were not all in favor of Biden, comprised less than 0.002% of all votes, constituting merely 0.15% of his victory margin in those states. Trump received consistent advice from members of his administration asserting the absence of widespread fraud. Just 9 days after the election, the Federal Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, issued a statement co-authored by top election officials nationwide, affirming that the November 3rd election was the most secure in American history. In less than 3 weeks following the election, then Attorney General William Barr stated that the Justice Department investigation had found no evidence of the widespread voter fraud claimed by Trump. Despite directing U.S. attorneys and FBI agents to investigate substantial allegations of voting irregularities, Barr emphasized,
"To date, we have not seen fraud on a scale that could have affected a different outcome in the election."
The January 6 House Committee report provides additional instances where administration officials and White House staff contradicted Trump's various allegations of voter fraud. Besides all of these, the Trump campaign, along with its supporters, initiated numerous legal challenges to the election, alleging various instances of voter fraud and misconduct. These cases underwent hearings and were consistently dismissed by dozens of courts at both state and federal levels, including those presided over by judges appointed by Trump himself. Furthermore, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected several attempts in the weeks following Election Day to overturn the results in various battleground states won by Biden. Numerous claims made by Trump and his team regarding a supposed stolen election revolved around the voting equipment used by voters. At different times, Trump and his legal team falsely asserted that voting machines were manufactured in Venezuela under the direction of President Hugo Chavez, who passed away in 2013. Additional unfounded allegations included assertions that the machines were designed to manipulate votes cast for Trump and that the U.S. Army had confiscated a computer server in Germany containing classified information about U.S. voting irregularities. None of those claims was ever substantiated or corroborated. CISA's joint statement released after the election said, "There is no evidence that any voting system deleted or lost votes, changed votes, or was in any way compromised." Trump and his supporters also have claimed that several other factors contributed to a broader effort to steal the presidential election. One theory advanced by both Trump and one of his lawyers, Rudy Giuliani, is that suitcases full of fraudulent ballots in Georgia cost Trump the election there. Then Deputy Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen told the January 6 House Committee that he personally reviewed the video claiming to show the fraud allegation in question. He recounted telling Trump, "It wasn't a suitcase, it was a bin. That's what they use when they're counting ballots." State and county officials also confirmed the containers were regular ballot containers on wheels which are used in normal ballot processing.
We found that the suitcase full of ballots, the alleged black suitcase that was being seen pulled from under the table, was actually an official lockbox where ballots were kept safe.
However, a week later, Trump publicly repeated the suitcase theory, saying,
"There is even security camera footage from Georgia that shows officials telling poll watchers to leave the room before pulling suitcases of ballots out from under the tables and continuing to count for hours."
Another refuted claim presenting a story of 2,000 so-called ballot mules was featured in a film that ran in hundreds of theaters last spring. The film claims that individuals aligned with Democrats were compensated to unlawfully collect and deposit ballots in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. However, these allegations were grounded in a flawed analysis of cell phone location data and Dropbox surveillance footage. Experts emphasize that even the most advanced cell phone location data can only reliably track a smartphone within a few meters, a distance insufficient to determine whether someone actually deposited a ballot or merely passed by on foot or in a vehicle. Additionally, ballot drop boxes are frequently placed in busy areas like college campuses, libraries, government buildings, and apartment complexes, heightening the chance that unsuspecting citizens unintentionally become entangled in the group's supposed scheme. In summary, through investigations, legal reviews, and fact-checking consistently reject Trump's allegations of widespread voter fraud, even from within his own administration and appointed officials. It was a brief overview of fraud claims in the 2020 election. If you found this content informative, please like it and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear from you, so feel free to share your thoughts, comments, and ideas for future topics in the comment section. Thank you for joining, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.